I saw something on the news the other day. Not news, it was an outlet that was talking about Charles stepping down.
Yeah.
And was it William that was going to take over the throne, yeah?
Yeah.
But do you think that a new era of like royalty should be about, like where it would be like four months William does it, 4 months Harry does it, 4 months William does it, 4 months Harry does it? Like they share the throne sort of thing, because it sort of puts a lot of divides through them, doesn't it? It must sort of... Don't you think it gives a diversity? The word I'm after is that sort of, not diversity as such, but what it means to be a family.
Yeah.
No? Do you not see it like that? Does anyone else see it that way? That there's... You could say it was anything but a dictatorship then, could you? You couldn't say that then, could you?
No, you couldn't say that, could you?
I don't know. What's your opinion on that? Like, they share the throne. Would that be something that would be like a new way of religion? And then, not religion, royalty, sorry.
Royalty. Kingdom. Yeah.
And then in the, like, whether it's 4 years, 4 months or anything else like that, then, you know, whilst one's taking the pressures of doing those duties,
Yeah.
whatever it is that kings and stuff may do,
Yeah.
the other one is sort of having a break away from that. Away from the limelight, away from the spotlight for a bit.
Yeah.
Between one, then the other, and then the others get to put their feet up. Because, I mean, it must be a daunting thing. The Queen, like, never took a break.
No, she didn't. That was long reign.
Yeah, I know, but still, there must have been times in that reign where she must have felt, I just want to just go and try and be a bit normal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I think I do.
So, do you think that that would work if it was like, you know, so many months that one's on, or a year one on, a year the other one takes the throne and does all of the public duties whilst the other one is resting and out of the spotlight, and then can have a bit of a personal life? Because the attention would be on the king now, right? And the queen now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, you know, would that sort of help? And it wouldn't put so much rivalry, because you can tell William loves Harry and Harry loves William, yeah? You can tell they got that sort of...
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you get a lot of diversity, and that's never happened, has it?
No.
In the whole of history, that's never happened. From one to the other. And that sharing, that would be a unique thing. Whether it causes it to be more complicated or not, I don't know. I looked at it in a type of complex situation a few years ago, actually many years ago I was looking at this.
Yeah.
To see whether it would be more, you know, complicated if it was done this way, but I don't know. Some of the royals said that they didn't want to take on the throne. Now, whether that's true or not, or it's just papers having their 2 pennies, which anyone can have their 2 pennies, right?
Yeah.
But it was that side of just being in that sort of continuously, and then it gives them a sort of chance to just sort of be dad and mum for a bit, the king and queen, and then whilst one is taking over and that.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it from a Princess Anne, if it is, and the queen, former queen.
Yeah. Yeah.
To see whether there would have been a sort of that sharing go on. Would that have... Because we don't know any talents that were in Anne, do we?
You mean Anne or Margaret?
Maybe it's Margaret.
Margaret was the sister, but she passed away a long time ago. But yeah, maybe even with Anne, which was her daughter, and she's quite filling the duties of hers, isn't she?
Yeah, I just wonder if that would just sort of take the burden off. You can be mum and dad for a bit, sort of just chill out for a bit whilst the other one takes the reign, picks up that slack, and okay, we're going to do this for a bit, and then okay, you've recharged, okay, now we're going to swap back again. And then when their children become of age to take the throne, or however it works,
Yeah.
then they would already have set the new era for
For those.
leadership like that
Yeah.
and public duties. And then we get a difference in ideas as well, don't we? And a different way of, you know.
Yeah. Then it would be true royal family.
Yeah, it would be more of a. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of how I was looking at it. Would that help? Because, you know, I don't know what it's like to be born into a family like that, okay? But the one thing that I could try and put myself in their shoes would be, shit me, that must be a daunting thing to just always be in that, and it must be so exhausting in one aspect, and so...
So in spotlight, isn't it?
Yeah, in the spotlight, technically, and then when one's in the spotlight a bit more so, the other ones are sort of... maybe get a little bit of a normal life out of that. It's never going to be perfectly what I class as normal, and what is normal is what you class as normal, down to the next person what they class as normal, but one's in the spotlight, taking the attention away from the other one for a bit.
Yeah, a bit more private.
It might give a shield of a bit more privacy.
Yeah.
And then when they swap over, it works again, so that the other one gets a bit more of a private. It's never going to be 100% private, but it moves the spotlight, so to speak.
But you can go somewhere you want to go more than somewhere you are obliged to.
Sharing the crown. And then people will be like, oh, money will change. Well, then you'll have a few 10p's with his head on it, a few 20p's with his head on it, and a few 10p's with former head on it, and a few £20 notes that keeps the Queen as well. A little bit of Charles on there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, what's wrong with that? Does it all have to be one and only? And then you get a differences in stamps as well.
Yeah.
I understand that there's tradition, but then there's also, you know, moving it, going with it, embracing change into it, rather than keeping everything the same. But there again, it's just my opinion, and I'm only talking my opinion, so everyone's got a right to an opinion, yes? In a democracy, yes?
Of course, yes. In democracy, we...
And it sort of becomes that new age, doesn't it? That new sort of
Yeah.
moving with those times. Because I don't know, if Charles is thinking about stepping down because of different personal matters or stuff like that, you know, this also, you know, if there's an emergency go up between the two, or 3 or 4 or 5, they can sort of say, can you take the reins? I've got to deal with a home situation for a bit, you know, I've got to go and sort something out at home for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then that might give that little bit more time, because it must be really tough to be able to stand there if you're going through a death or you're going through a bereavement, let's say. I mean, and it's really close to home. That must be a real challenge to deal with that and be in the spotlight. Because I'm sure you're only human at the end of the day, like anybody else. You have emotion in there.
Yes, we all are, aren't we?
And to keep going through all of that, sometimes it would be nice if you could just sort of take a back seat for a bit, recharge, get your batteries back, and off you go again. And then the other one gets to sort of sit back, recuperate, charge the batteries, and then vice versa. So, I don't know. Well, what are your thoughts on that? Is that something or not? Interesting. But douche.